on the farm this morning. Today, we are going to be doing a water cycle experiment to kind of demonstrate how water can move throughout our world. So there's a lot of different parts to the water cycle, but we are going to focus on the four main parts that a lot of us are familiar with. There's evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and then collection. So evaporation is when water turns from a liquid into a gas. Condensation is when that gas collects together and collects back into a liquid. And then precipitation is when that water falls from the sky back down to earth. And of course collection, where it all gathers into one point in rivers or lakes, or probably the biggest example, the ocean. So today we're going to simulate our ocean. I have, and what you'll need if you want to try this experiment, is some hot water. And the hotter, the better it works. A glass bowl, a small Tupperware that fits inside the bowl, a little bit of ice, some salt, and some plastic wrap. So what we're going to do is take our hot water, put it in the bowl, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt, because remember, this is going to be our ocean. And oceans are salty. If you've ever been to the ocean, or if you ever had somebody that had you gargle hot salt water if you were feeling ill, you know that salt water does not taste good. So there we go, our nice salty water. Then what we're going to do is take this empty Tupperware, we're going to set it right in the middle where it'll float. The next step is we need to make our ceiling, our sky. So we're going to take a little bit of plastic wrap, maybe. There you go. Take a little bit of plastic wrap. Get that covering the top of our bowl. And then we're going to take a little bit of ice. So what this ice does is it's going to cool down part of this plastic wrap. And what that's going to do is when that hot air, when that hot water vapor evaporates up and hits this plastic wrap, where it's cold, it is going to turn back into a liquid. And this is very similar to what happens in the sky. So water will evaporate from the ocean. It goes up, way up in the sky, and then if you get high enough in the sky, it gets a lot colder. And so that cold weather, that cold air will take our hot water, our hot water vapor, and condense it into, in the sky it turns it into clouds. Now in here, it's not big enough for us to get clouds, unfortunately. But we will get some water droplets on the underside of our plastic wrap. And then that's going to drip down into our Tupperware and collect. Now, depending on how hot your water is, it might take more or less time. So let's see if we can see any droplets forming. Kind of hard to tell. It's a little weighed down. If you can get a little bit of boiling water, that's what's going to be ideal for this experiment. I definitely see some water collecting on top from the melting ice, which is a whole different part of the water cycle. Put a few more ice cubes on here. Just to give us a bit more cold surface area. Now, in real life, the water doesn't actually boil to evaporate. We have one of the most efficient water heaters in the solar system. The sun shines down on bodies of water, and while it doesn't get it hot enough to boil, or even really get that hot, it does get it warm enough that some of it evaporates. And when that happens, that water travels up, and then it can travel all over the place. You get rain from the ocean that could come, potentially, all the way here. And it's important to think that the water that we have, that we see when it rains, that water has been around since as long as the earth has been around. So any time that you're drinking water, that water could be potentially millions, billions of years old. Maybe a dinosaur stepped in a puddle that had water that you might drink today. Now, the best part of that is that when water evaporates, it purifies it. So water evaporates, but salt does not evaporate. Another way you could do this experiment was with some food coloring. That food coloring will also not evaporate. The water vapor will rise, condensate on this sheet, and then drip back into our collection bowl, just as clean and pure as it came out of the faucet. So let's go ahead. I'm not sure how much condensation we've got here, but let's go ahead and lift it up. And we'll see what we're working with. So we got a few little droplets in the very bottom. Like I said, it works better with hotter water. We get a little bit more. I am going to go ahead and take a little sip of that. We'll see if it's salty or not. Not salty at all. So it may have only been a couple drops of water, but if you get a little bit hotter water starting out in your bowl, you'll actually see a lot more. Enough for a actual sip's worth in your little collection bowl. So thanks for joining us today, y'all. If you want to try this experiment at home, take a picture or a video and send it to us, or leave it in a comment. We would just love to see if you all are doing any of these fun science experiments at home. I'll see y'all later.